Hey, what's up? Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to the Real Life Relationship Growth Get Together platform, podcast. You know me. Doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you are here. As long as you are here. So we're gonna get this thing started tonight because we just want to get it started because we don't want to belabor anything. So hey, I'm Donna. What's up? I'm the creator of the Real Life Relationship Growth Platform. Um, we are here tonight with another wonderful topic. Something else, something that I did a combo to. Two of my people's um sent sent several topics, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do a combination tonight and put those together and talk about those things. So, again, I'm Donna. I'm the creator of the Real Life Relationship Growth Platform. Um, Let me start out by saying, as always, I am not a relationship expert. I'm just a black woman in this world, living this life, doing the damn thing, and enjoying myself in the process. The criteria for you to be here, the criteria for you to be here, you have to be single, dating, courting, divorced, or widower. That is the criteria for you to be here. If you are 21 and up, this is the place for you because I guarantee you, you fall into one of these categories and one of those categories. Um, let's see. Facebook is let's get Facebook going, y'all. I got my girl Corey B in the back, and I so appreciate her. She's always there to tackle things for me. She's letting me know that we are not quite live on Facebook. Um, let's make sure we can get everybody in the right place at the right time together. Okay. All right. Continue. I've never seen that message before. But listen, let me keep going. So we are not here to tell each other what to do and how we should live our lives. We are here to share um, some insights. Share insights. Because sometimes we deal with things and we're not quite sure how to work through those things. We're not quite sure um, how to navigate certain things. And sometimes we get that advice from people that care about us and love us, and it gives us a little help, a little push, a little edge. That's what we're here for. We're here to help one another. We're here to focus in and help one another navigate this thing called life and relationship and do it the best at our best ability. All right? All right. So we're going to get started. Our topic tonight, Corey, I think we're good. I think we're good on Facebook. Hmm. I don't know. All right. Well, this is what I'm going to do. This is the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do is let's share. Let's share. Let's share. I'm going to share it to the proper page and then we're going to keep going. How about that? All right. All right. We should see something now. We should be good. Um, I love my girl in the backdrop. I love my girl Corey. She always has things going on. Thank you. She always has things going on and letting me know what's happening and what's not happening. Hey there, Miss Charlene McBride. That's my auntie, y'all. What's going on, auntie? All right, so let's get started here. Our topic tonight is foreplay, but don't touch me. Foreplay, but don't touch me. Let me call my peoples in because you know I always have a crew with me because I love to do things together. First and foremost, I gotta get my girl Corey on. Hey, Corey B.
Hey,
What's up, sis? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good. I
Trying to link
appreciate
everything and send some
you.
stuff over to Facebook from YouTube. So,
Yeah,
sorry, a little
I appreciate
preoccupied. I know what I'm looking like.
Okay, okay. I appreciate it. Oh, you ready? You ready? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't done it in a minute. You
I
ready?
know it's been a minute. Ooh,
Ooh,
ladies
ladies
first.
first.
Ladies
Ladies
first.
first. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Uh
ma'am.
huh.
And speaking of another lady, we got to get her going. Miss Rose, what's up, baby?
What's going on, people? People in the house. How y'all feeling
Yes.
today?
We've been missing Rose.
I
We've been
know.
missing Rose. I'm
MIA,
glad
that's my
you're
nickname.
back.
That's me.
And last but temporarily not least, the only gentleman that's on as of right now for tonight. You know, we always get threatened with the other dudes coming on, and
Mm.
I get the messages afterwards that, hey, I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
make it, this and that. I love
Oh
them
yeah.
all always. I love them anyway. But
Right.
but we appreciate this gentleman for being on, Mr. Joshua Presley. What's up,
What's
Josh?
going on, guys? Hope y'all are having a good week as we get closer to Fabulous Friday and closing it out. I know
Mhm.
I am
Yes.
exhausted, but happy I've been busy this week.
Yeah, yeah. Closing out the week. Closing
Yes,
out the week. Love it, love it, love it. I know some people are still flowing on the weekend, but it's just the thought of Friday. It's just
yes,
the thought
Mhm.
of Friday. Just that thought of Friday.
yes.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get popping with this thing. We're gonna get going. So as I was saying, I was telling you guys, I was telling them in the background, y'all, that this topic tonight came from two different places. And I mentioned that a little bit. Rose gave a few topics that we could talk about. Um, and Finley gave a few topics that we could talk about. So I decided to take two of the ones that they sent and do a combo. So that's how we came up with foreplay, but don't touch me. Foreplay, but don't touch me. All right. So,
Mm.
um, I think what I want to do starting out, I'm going to put this up real quick. I'm going to put this up. 10 things you can say to maintain your femininity in tough conversations.
Mm.
In tough conversations. Because, sometimes those conversations can get out of hand and we kind of
Mhm. Oh
hoo
yeah.
hoo, woo hoo, get a little
Mm.
hot headed, get a little hot headed. Don't worry, I
Mhm.
got something for the brothers too. But there are a few comments, there are a few suggestions that came up. I saw this video and I wanted to pull these clips from it because I thought it was great. But tonight we want to talk about not necessarily how we want our significant others to come at us and to talk to us. We want to talk about how we can, as males and females, come at them and talk to them. Because sometimes we missed the mark. We
Mm.
missed
Mhm.
the mark. We missed how we should have said that, what we should have said, when we should have said it. And of course, I'm so glad there's always the male and female dynamic here because we can't speak for the brothers and the
Mm.
brothers can't speak for us. All we can do is try to understand one another. Is try to understand one another. So I'm gonna start out with Josh. I'm gonna start out with Josh. And let me thank you, Corey, for sharing that.
Mhm.
Um, let me ask Josh. Josh, how do you handle um with First Lady uh those difficult conversations, those difficult moments and times where you just want to just kind of blast or you're feeling a little agitated or whatever, or she comes at you and she's a bit agitated and you can tell. How do you kind of handle that?
So I don't know I always do it properly, right? I don't know that I'm always the most diplomatic in those type of situations. I
Mhm.
have been told by my best friend that the cooler head prevails, right?
Mm,
So I try to be the cooler head. I do try to de-escalate. I am probably the hothead between the two of us because she's a little bit more even keeled.
mhm,
But I do, if there's a situation where I know that I'm escalated or I know I'm in my feelings, or if I feel like I'm going to raise my voice too loudly, number one, she'll always say, You're yelling." And I'm like, I'm not yelling. I'm just being passionate. I'm not yelling. I'm
Yeah.
passionate. Passionate.
Right.
Okay. And then, but when she says it, it does trigger in my mind. You are being passionate, but you are yelling at the same time. So bring it down, keep the passion, lose the volume. So I
mm,
try I try to do that. I try to keep the passion, but lose the volume because the volume indicates escalation, right? Like when
mhm.
when they type in capital letters in an email, you're like, why are you yelling at me, right?
Right.
That's the first thing you go to. So the volume or the louder something is, it automatically indicates escalation. And when when you do that, the person that you're communicating or trying to communicate with is going to fall into their defense mechanism when they're dealing with somebody that's escalating it or making it feel as if they're being attacked. So
Okay.
I try to keep these tools in mind when I'm in those types of situations. If I don't do that, then I usually get quiet and she'll ask me, well, why aren't you saying anything? And I'll say, I'm processing. And I
Mhm.
am processing because I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to escalate my response. I want my response to be well thought through, and I want to make sure that it doesn't cause this to turn into an argument. That doesn't mean I'm stepping on eggshells. It just means that I'm being cerebral about how I respond to this situation because I don't want to cause more argument. I want us to get to a resolution. So that's
Right.
usually how those are usually the thought processes that I go through in an effort to try to make it so that we're actually communicating versus yelling at each other.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
she's not a yeller, so it would be just me yelling. It'd just be me because remember
Okay.
I'm passionate, so
Mhm.
so
Mhm. It's passionate.
that's how I deal with it.
Okay. Okay. It's a few things that you said that kind of stood out to me. I've used the word passionate many times.
We some passionate people as black people, you know
Passionate
what I'm saying?
people.
We real
Yeah.
passionate.
Yeah, there's a song that came out, and Anija, I think her name is, and she says, "I'm just, I'm just passionate." The song is literally called "Passionate." Like I'm not yelling. I'm just passionate.
Passionate.
Um, Someone said something to me earlier when we kind of talking about this topic. We weren't actually even talking about this topic. That's how I knew this is what I should do today. It's funny how a topic will come up and I'll put it together and I'll put it out to the group and things start coming to me and conversations start happening around me that says, yeah, that was the right one today.
Mhm.
That was the right one today. So I love when
Mm.
that happens. But a conversation earlier today, someone was talking about the differences in upbringing. Didn't
Mm.
even know I was doing this today. They didn't even know I was doing this today. They were talking about the differences in upbringing and how I communicate and how my spouse communicates. Can be offended and the other one can be like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is how I do it. This is how, this is how I'm used to doing it. This is how, hey Neil, this is how we talk. This is how, we have this thing in my family that we are so loud when we're
Yes.
together. We laughing,
Mhm.
we talking, and
Yes.
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of going. And sometimes people could think we arguing or
Yes.
whatever, but nah, we just having some healthy banter, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a cousin, and everybody knows Cortland, my cousin Cortland. When Cortland started hanging with us and getting to know us more, because we didn't really grow up together, we were more close to teenagers when we started coming together. And Corlin came over the house one time and it was all of us and we were just talking and laughing. And this boy was like, he's a man now. He's like, I can't get no word in. Nobody's listening. My mother was like,
You got to yell your
Better
way
start
into this
talking. Better speak up.
conversation.
she said,
You got to
you
yell your
gonna
way
wait till
into this.
somebody take a breath?
Yeah.
You better jump in when somebody take a breath. And
Yeah.
we took no offense to that, but he came from a quiet house. My aunt
Mhm.
was very serene and very a quiet house,
Yeah.
and he just wasn't
Mhm.
like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on?" Now
Mhm.
he's used to it. Now he knows somebody took a breath. Let me.
That's
Now
it.
he's used to it. So coming from two different backgrounds and how that communication worked plays a part as well. It plays a part as
Absolutely.
well.
I
Well,
agree because my wife she's Jamaican and
uh
her I think in her household it's definitely not the high volume that went on in my household, my cousins, my family, my mother, my aunts, and everything like that. My
mhm.
mother is one of 12, so in order for you to
Oh.
get a point through,
Wow.
it's going to require some elevated tones. And my mom is like the run of the litter. She's like 5'2", and her sisters are all taller than her. So she has that high volume, and it just
Mhm.
and I'm sure that's passed down either by genes or by experience to me. So that all of that plays a role, I think, in the reason why I'm passionate.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Rose, what's your thoughts? Like when you in the midst of kind of at a heightened state and what's your thought? How do you kind of handle uh dealing with maybe his passion?
Right,
However that
right.
may look.
Because
Right.
he gets his point across, but we definitely different. I'm the this, and he's the this.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
big difference. But for me, I think um, when you're dealing with someone who is on that opposite side of what you are,
Mhm.
I had to, you know, tell myself, you got to ask him what he needs from you in that moment, because
Mm.
it's easy for us to operate in what we're familiar with and
Yeah.
what's comfortable for us.
Yeah.
And but that's not always what that person needs or even what they may want.
Mhm.
So, the first thing I had to do was I had to find out what worked for him. Is it
Mm.
a touch? Is it a let me fix you a plate of food? Is it just you
Mm.
need some time to yourself? Do I need to walk away? And then come back, or what is it that you need from me that's going to make you feel like, okay, whatever it is that this is what's happening between us, or whatever's going on, how can I make it to where we can get to a point to even talk about it, right? 'Cause
Mm.
that's always at the end of the day, you got to talk about it so it
Yeah.
doesn't happen again,
Yeah.
or
Right.
so that the level it was at is a notch below the next time, right?
Yeah.
We're not perfect, and
Yeah.
we don't fix overnight. We weren't
Right.
made overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. So,
Overnight. That's
yeah.
right. I love that. I love that. It's 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 not necessarily that we're gonna say, well, this is not gonna happen again. Because let's be honest, that's a
Right.
lie.
Nah, because we
That's a
are
lie.
who we are,
We
Right.
are
you
who
know?
we are. We are
Yeah.
who we are.
We are who we
And to
are.
say, well, I promise that I'm not gonna do that again. I've learned never to say that.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Instead, I say, um, I'm going to work on that. And I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
try my best not to make you feel that way or not to
Mm-hmm.
respond. I had to tell my nephew that yesterday, just yesterday,
Mm.
because I'll tell him something and sometimes I won't give him the chance to do what I need him to do because I'm so like,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll look at me like, you didn't give me a chance. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to practice. I literally told him this yesterday. I'm going to practice waiting for a response and being more patient in what I and when I'm talking to someone. Cause at work, I have y'all 8 teenagers working for me this summer.
Oh
8.
wow.
Yeah, 8. I got so
That's a
many
whole
direct,
mess in itself.
It is.
and I'm like, "Why did I do this to myself?" But
Right.
I love it though, because I love
Mm-hmm.
being their first job. I love giving them
Yeah.
the first feel of what it looks like to earn a check, how to make that work, what that looks like. I love doing that. I did not intend to have 8. But 8 just came to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't gonna turn them down, and I let them know, "You're not gonna make a lot of money here, but I promise you when you leave here, you gonna learn some things. You gonna walk into the next level a little bit more prepared, coupling with
Mm-hmm.
your parents, because I don't wanna take over what the parents are doing, but
Still
just
have
being
a
an
sense of work ethic.
extension of that." Yeah,
Mhm.
but and Caden is in that 8. I hired him this summer. Yeah, and we had a little talk yesterday, but I said to him, I'm going to take more time to be more patient in waiting for responses or reactions or whatever needs to happen. Because he was
Mhm.
already on 10 by the time I said that to him. And I said, let me bring this down. Let me bring this down. So so look, Rose, I love that. I love the fact that you said next time we
Mhm.
bringing it down a notch.
Mhm.
Not that it's gonna be completely over with, done, but next time we bringing it down a notch. We bringing it down a notch. Hey, Rebecca, Finley, Tony, what's going on, y'all? Thanks for
Oh, hey,
joining.
Pam.
Mhm. Next time down a notch. I love that. Miss Corey, what about you? What about you? How do you handle that when that other is just kind of uncontrollable? Let's say that, because sometimes
Others
uncontrollable can happen.
uncontrollable. I prefer men who are the quiet powerhouse in the relationship. Because
Mm.
I'm the one that's like, "Da, da, 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 da." And I need to be like, peace on command.
Ah!
Peace
All
on
right,
command.
what?
She's like,
Hey, wait, say that again. You not gonna be what?
peace on command. That's what I need you to say to me.
I love it.
Get me straight. And I, okay.
Love it. Yes.
Okay.
Now she's
Right.
who told
Make
you
you
to be?
feel
Who
all
told you to be
girly and
still?
stuff, right?
All right then.
Who told you
That's
to
what
be still?
that is what I prefer. You can't I
Mhm.
am yeah, I don't need you.
She
You
felt
can't be
that. Come
emotional
on,
like me.
girl.
You can't be as excited as me, because then I'm gonna challenge you.
Ha.
We're gonna go back and
Mm.
forth.
Ha.
Nah, I need you to just are you finished? Come
Yeah.
on, right here.
Look at smile.
Ma'am.
Okay.
She gets
Yes,
excited about
ma'am.
that thought. Just
Man,
that thought
what?
alone right there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's her
That's
Absolutely.
happy
it.
place right there. I
That's
see
Yes,
it.
it
I see it.
is. Yes, it
yeah.
is.
I don't even know what I was mad about.
I
Right.
know. You forget quick,
Well, there you go.
Brothers, I
So
hope y'all taking notes.
man.
yeah,
That's awesome.
that's what I am.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
So if you all noticed, um, it was almost, what is it? The yin and the yang. The two, is that how you refer to that? The
Yeah.
differences.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So you notice one person is the rah rah, but that they prefer the more, hey.
Mhm.
Even Josh, when he said it, Josh is the more rah rah, it seems like.
Yeah.
And his wife is the more of, hey
Yes.
babe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
So that means that term, we hear it all the time. We say it all the time. Opposites attract.
Mm-hmm.
Opposites attract. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Years ago, I did not believe that. I felt like my mate needed to be like me, and I needed to be like him. We needed to like the same things, and we needed to. So I'm gonna tell y'all a bit of transparency. Years ago, when I was married to my children's father, Daryl, great guy. Still hung out with Daryl the other day in the family. But we were in the marriage ministry. We were part of the marriage ministry group at West End at the church where Josh and I met. And we were going through the book. I can't think of the book, but it was a book. If it comes back to me, it's a common one too. Tony
Is it the
talked
love
about it.
languages one or no?
The love languages, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
popular
When it
book.
first really kind of came out and was
Yeah.
getting, yeah. So they did a test. We had to, each week we did a little test, right? And Daryl and I's were matching up so much, it was ridiculous.
Wow.
And the marriage ministry leader at the time said to us, in love, y'all need to pay attention to that. Y'all need to pay attention to that. And we were like, oh no, we good. I remember this like yesterday, y'all. We was like, oh no, we good. Um, yeah, whatever I need, he got whatever she need. Da 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 da. And truth be told, as wonderful as Daryl is, Daryl was more of a go along to get along.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So that meant pretty much what I said. He didn't rock the boat. He didn't, mind you, we're divorced.
Right. Right.
Oh.
So I think back on that and I'm like, things we did not know,
Mm.
things we had to learn after the fact.
Right.
After the fact. So when it comes to opposites, Tony said it, opposites balance one another.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
like to
that's
call it
something that
complimentary. I like
yeah.
to call it complimentary because
Mm-hmm.
So
we
it's interesting the idea. So I think that in certain areas you can be opposite, but I think that in certain areas you should be similar though. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
if you're fully opposite in everything, it's going to create a lot of contention. Like
Yeah.
it's just going to be like you're one person is going this way, the other person's going that way, and it's hard to kind of meet in the middle. I
Right.
think that there are parts of your personality that are supposed to be opposite
Mhm.
because I think it actually helps to foster a better relationship
Mhm.
because you can be complementary, like Corey said. Um, if you have that opposite energy, I can learn from something
Mhm.
that you do better or that you're more involved in. You can learn from something that I'm more involved in. So
Yeah.
I think that plays a role, but I think that there should be things, a lot of things that are common for both of you. You know, when
Yeah.
me and my wife got together, we both were nearing the end of our 30s, and we both knew that we wanted more children or wanted children. She didn't have any children, and I had a child, so that was something that we knew that we wanted together. Those were complementary ideas that we were going forward in, and we had kids because of that was something that we identified as something that we wanted. We both knew we wanted to travel. That was very important for both of us. So traveling has been a major part of our marriage relationship. Even with our kids now, we travel a lot. But can you imagine being with somebody that hates traveling
Traveling.
and you
Yeah.
want to travel all the time?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
is a opposite situation that becomes untenable over time because you're going to literally miss out on all of these things that you wanted to do unless you do them by yourself because
Mhm.
the person that you're married to, they don't want to do it at all. I
Yeah.
hate travel. I don't
Yeah.
want to do nothing. I don't want to have no parts of it. So that's the reason why I say some things have to be kind of like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
same or at least
And
similar.
I totally agree to that. And I'm glad you said that, Josh, because it actually brought us right back around to the
Mhm.
point of communicating with one another and understanding one another what our needs are and
Yes.
Mhm.
not focusing so much on me, me, me. Because tonight it's not about, I want him to understand me. I want to understand him.
Right.
So, what can I do, especially when there's some points of contention that help me to understand him? And I think I put this one up first, right? I put this one up
Yes.
10
Mhm.
things you can say to maintain your femininity in tough conversations. And I'm not going to put up all 10, but I'm just going to randomly. I hear you. Here's how I feel. Now, I'm going to be honest. This one right here, I was kind of like, because what that kind of said to me is if somebody says, I hear what you're saying, now let me tell you how I feel. You lost me at that point. You kind of lost me. Like, what? Why are we talking about how you feel? I thought you just heard me. Why am I? What? So that one right there, I actually meant to X that one out, to be honest, y'all. Because that was my first thought. But what's and somebody else could have a different thought about that.
I got a
What
different
do y'all
thought.
think?
I
Go
got a
ahead.
different
Uh-huh.
thought. And
Yep.
and the reason why is because you have to open communication has to be part of what's happening.
Hmm.
And in order for you to understand each other, you
Hmm.
have to be able to speak about one's own feeling. So if I'm acting a certain way, I need you to tell me how that affects you if you don't like it or if it makes you
Hmm.
feel some kind of way and vice versa. So that way now we have an understanding. We have an even playing field.
Mhm.
I know that you don't like this thing. You know I don't like this thing. So
Mhm.
what are we doing to try to make sure that we're not antagonizing each other by doing those things?
Okay.
So to me that's a level playing ground. You got to have
Okay.
both sides of that,
Okay.
especially if it's an argument. Now, if you're just coming in and you saying, I'm having a bad day, okay, I need to be fully focused on
Right.
you
Right.
and not me at that point. But when it's something that we're going back and forth in, we both definitely need to state how we're feeling in that moment with that specific situation.
Okay. Okay. What do you think,
I
Corey?
agree with what she's saying. I agree 100%. I think that there's a way to do it though, a way that you can pause the situation before you express your side because
Mhm.
I think as a man, I would want to see you digest what I said to you,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's like what you just said, Donna. I hear you, but this is what's wrong with me. No,
Mhm.
digest, regurgitate. I
Yeah.
want you to repeat back to me what I just said so that I know you understood what I was saying to you.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of times, we block out certain things because we're waiting on our opportunity to
Our
express
turn.
how we feel.
Yes.
We.
So we don't
Mhm.
we don't even hear what the person is saying because we've already triggered our brains to respond.
Listening to
So
talk.
Right.
so
Mhm.
we're listening to talk. Yeah, we're waiting on our turn.
Mhm.
Hey, it's my
Yes.
turn's coming. My
Yeah.
turn's coming. I'm
Yeah.
waiting, and I didn't
Yeah.
hear a single word you said. And this, I might be pouring my heart out to you about how angry and frustrated I am with some of the stuff that you're doing or some of the stuff that's going on. And this has been deep in me for a long time, and I'm expressing it to you at this moment. But you have this thing that you must get off your head,
That you
and
got it.
you have completely
Mhm.
not heard anything that I've said.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
a lot
That's
of
the
times,
feeling I got from that
yes,
statement.
right.
Like Tony
And
said,
so a
it's like
lot
a
of
sweat.
times, if you can just say, okay, I hear you, I'm gonna repeat back to you what I heard. And then that person will acknowledge, okay, you heard what I said. And
Mm-hmm.
then, okay,
Or even if you
now,
say, what can I do?
yes,
What
yeah,
can I
yeah.
do?
And then it opens up dialogue. So then
Yeah.
it
Y'all
becomes
taking away
real
my little
dialogue at
captions.
that
That one's
point.
coming.
Yeah, it becomes real
Sorry.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's throw up another one. Let's throw up another one. I need a moment to collect my thoughts. I want to respond, not react.
Mm,
I
I
like
like
that one.
that.
I like that
me
one.
too. I
Yes.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yes. Cause you
yeah.
cause it's saying pretty much, you know what? And I have something I want to say, or I need to process what you said,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm just a little too agitated right now to even talk to you.
Yes.
That
Mhm.
is a beautiful way to say, let's step back for a minute. I need a moment to collect
Yep.
Yeah.
my thoughts. What you think, Corey?
I like that. What it also does is if I was to say that I need a moment to collect my thoughts, I want to respond, not react. What I'm thinking is I also want to make sure that what I want to say to you, I'm
Mhm.
communicating in the right way. So it's not
Correct.
taking the wrong, sometimes when we're emotional or we're in the midst of
Yes.
something, our words are all over the place. We know what we mean, but we're trying to get it out quickly. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't come off right. So
Didn't come
it
off
gives me
right.
a time to think about what you said. It gives me time to think about what I'm going to say and how I'm going to present that information to you. So I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I
me
like that.
too.
Yeah.
I think it gives value to
Mm-hmm.
what you say
Yeah.
when you
Absolutely.
don't say it out of
Yes.
emotion. When you've had time to think about it and digest
Yes.
it and
Yes.
process it,
Mm-hmm.
when you come back, whoever you telling respectfully is gonna know that you meant what you said
Right.
Yeah.
because you've had time. You're not in that moment anymore. You're
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
not angry in that
Nope.
moment anymore. You've had time to really process what you want to say and how you want to say it. I think that sometimes can be more dangerous than speaking out of
Then
anger.
Oh
speaking
yeah.
out, yeah. So let me go left just a little bit. Not really left, but the word process. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard it. Josh said it in the beginning. We're saying it now. We all have said it at a certain point. Process. I think it's important to process. It definitely is. It definitely is. But let's go left on this a little bit. What do y'all think about? How long do you think a person should actually process before they even show a reaction or some type of something to what is said and what's been going on? What would be acceptable time for
I think
processing?
I think it depends on the defense, on
Yeah,
the offense or on the issue.
Yeah.
If it's
yeah.
something major, for example, we're in a relationship and you cheated. Whoa,
Yeah. It
I
could
need
be
time.
days.
That
It
might
I
could
need
take
be.
space
days.
and time.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
If
if
it's
Depends
that
on the
serious,
offense.
because it could be violence. if I don't
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, something to that degree. You lucky
the-
I'm even
right.
considering processing it at that
Right.
point. You
Mhm.
lucky I'm
Right.
even processing.
'Cause
But what about let's come back, not such a strong offense. Let's
oh no,
come back to
I was gonna say
oh, go
you
ahead,
can do
Corey. Go
that
ahead,
for
Corey.
something like that is major. You
Yeah.
might you definitely need more time to process. But it's something like, we having arguments because you put the bread in the fridge and I prefer it on the top of the fridge. There's something more. Maybe we need to talk about something else and other things have come up and we're just not seeing eye to eye or whatever. I think then it's okay. I don't think it should take longer than an hour because then to me, what in the world are you thinking about? How
Yeah,
long does it take you? Because at that point, the other person is just kind of waiting for a response, and it's not fair to that person. So I think that,
inconsiderate.
yeah, the
Yeah,
smaller issues, an hour is way too much.
yeah,
At that
Yeah,
point, you just
and it's probably if you're taking longer than an hour, this is a culmination of multiple situations. This
mhm.
is not the bread. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's if it's taking you an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, then you've had a whole lot to say and you've chosen not to say it over time. And this is
Right.
just like the straw that's breaking
Ooh,
the camel's back or something like that.
nice.
It shouldn't take but I see Charlene McBride said a few say, yeah, it should be only a few minutes. You take a deep breath over something like that. You say,
Mhm.
and you good. Hey, can we change the way that we do the refrigerator? Or hey, you pack the dishwasher crazy. Can we develop a different system for how we do the dishwasher?
Yeah,
Like stuff like that. It shouldn't require a whole lot of processing, but if they're taking a long time, it's probably because they hadn't said all of that stuff about the dishes and the other stuff, and it's been kind of building up. And now
yep,
they're about to have this moment. They don't want to explode, so they're processing, and then they're gonna present all of this stuff. It's like, hey, I don't like the way you do blah 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 blah.
yeah.
That's usually
Which
how they
is
go.
in itself an
Mhm.
offense
Mhm.
Yes,
because
because that
if
means
we,
that you
yeah,
don't have
if,
good communication.
and that means
Mhm.
you keep it. That means you're keeping score
You
and you're
holding
keeping
stuff.
tally.
That's
Yes,
it.
That's
Mhm.
what it
that's
says to
true.
me.
That's it.
Mhm.
If
That's
I
true.
got to process for more than I'll talk to you later. I got to process this out. If it takes all of that, you got
Mhm.
more going on. Like Josh said, there's more than just the
Mhm.
bread
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
where it was placed on the
Right.
shelf.
yeah,
It's more going on.
Yep.
So
yeah.
to be fair, if you're gonna process, it has to come with a time frame that makes sense. That's
Yes.
considerate.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
considerate. That's
Mhm.
considerate. Yeah, that kind of yeah, that's considerate. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So next one. That didn't sit right with me. Can we talk about it? Oh, I love that one.
Mhm. I think that's my favorite one.
Yes.
And
And
I
we
ain't
hadn't
even
even
seen the
seen all
other
the
ones
others.
yet,
Yeah.
but that's my favorite.
Why is it your favorite, Rose? Why is your
Because I'm
favorite?
vocal. And when something hit me wrong, oh no, I got to tell you right. We got to deal with it right. You may
Right
not want to accept
then.
it right now, but I'm gonna lay it out right now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna lay it out. Hey, I didn't like that. So if you upset and you don't want to talk about it now, we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
talk about it because I don't like that. Because sometimes people act out of normalcy. So
Hmm.
something that they've done with somebody else or done in the past or are so used to doing it, they do it to you and they think nothing of it. But no,
Uh-huh.
honey, let me tell you, I have a problem and I
Yeah.
don't like
Hmm.
that.
Mhm.
Now,
That
Mhm.
makes sense.
the response you look for is, okay, what about that bothered you? Right? That's not always what you get, but yeah, I'm quick to tell you I don't like something.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with you with I don't want to hold it. I need to let it out, but I'm gonna tell you something that I learned. And I'm gonna pass this along with you, sis. Our body language, our facial expression. I
Oh
have no
yeah,
poker face when you piss me off.
Mm.
me either.
I have no, and even though, sometimes it's that moment that I need to, you gave the offense and
Hmm.
we need to talk about it. But I had to realize more offense comes on top of the offense by the way I say you offended me.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Believe me when I
Yeah.
tell you, I've had to practice saying, I don't like that. And then
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
okay with just saying that instead of all the other stuff that's in my head
Yeah.
that wants
Yeah.
to come out of my mouth. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to learn to sit back and say,
Yeah.
Did you realize what you just said, or
Uh-huh.
maybe I don't
And I'm
understand?
gonna be honest, when I started doing that, I felt more calm, even if I was pissed off. And because I literally would be like, girl, you handled that thing. I like how you did that, girl. Did you, girl? Because we did that.
High
'Cause we could have lost it on that Negro. But the way you did that,
Mm-hmm.
Oh my word.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh
work
yeah.
in progress. It
It
is
is.
because
Yes, it is.
my first response, because I'm I was talking to this guy. It had to be about 2 days, and he was like, "Oh, I could tell you slick with it." He said, "I know
No.
you got a mouth." He said, "I could tell." I hadn't said anything to the man.
Mhm.
I was being on my best behavior on purpose
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
because not faking it, but
right.
I knew I was already in the process of making changes, and I'm like, what better time than
Oh
to
yeah.
practice what you're preaching?
That's it.
But he was like, "Oh, I could tell you got it," and I was like, "How can you tell that?" He said, "You just have the." He was like, I said, "So what did I say?" He said, "Oh, you ain't say nothing." He said, "But I could just
Mm-hmm.
tell." I didn't know how to take that at first,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm gonna put that one up again. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Can we talk about it? What you
Yep.
think, Corey? Can it be in the delivery though? Did we lose Corey?
Look, is she frozen? Nope.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, she will
yeah,
have to
So
say
yeah.
you.
Okay, we're back because we were
Okay,
all because I
yeah,
saw
you back.
myself, leave,
We
but I
hear
saw
you.
yeah,
everybody else
you
frozen.
froze. You froze for a minute.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, you.
Oh wow! Because I'm looking, I thought everybody else froze. Okay, I'm back and I see it.
So
Sorry.
what's your thoughts on that, Corey?
I I just need this list because these are probably things I should work on. Because for someone to say something that says that didn't sit right with me, can we talk about it? I'm gonna respond one of two ways instead of saying that. Like I have learned to get quiet and take a moment. But I
Mhm.
don't come back with anything better than I would have said if I would have just said it. I'm gonna get quiet.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah, who are you talking to? Like, you
right, right.
know what I mean? Like, who are you talking to?
But
You
but but
lost your
remember,
mind.
but wait, remember this is you to him.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
I
This is you to
know.
him, not him to you. This is you to him.
Right. Oh, you
But
mean me saying that didn't sit right with me? Yes,
Yes.
mhm.
exactly. What I'm saying is I'll take a breath and then I'll come back with who are you talking to?
Right. So
Or
she's not ever going to use this phrase. Is what
I
she's
know I
saying.
want to
Yeah.
in my
She
heart.
wants. This is aspirational for her. That's what she's
Yes,
Yes.
trying to tell you.
I
Yes.
really
That this
I
that
got you.
I
her
want this
terms are going to be a little bit more aggressive, and she wants to flow back into the femininity that this term has.
There
But
you
even when
go.
she takes a moment, I'm
There you go,
mansplaining right
Josh.
now. Even
Yeah.
when she takes a moment, she still doesn't come back with anything that's close to that. So she needs to list for herself so she can
I
look at it
do.
and remember to
I
say it
refer
in
back
that
Yes.
to
moment.
it.
That's what she.
Yes.
That's what she.
Maybe
I'm
I'll
Do
be
it.
like,
Do
mansplaining the
it,
whole thing. I'm
Josh.
mansplaining the whole thing. That's what she's saying.
How funny.
Got it.
that
Got
didn't
it.
sit right
Thank you,
with me.
Josh. Appreciate that.
Can we talk about it?
Ah,
I'm gonna send it to you, sis. I'll send it to you.
Cause she gonna look at it like she just did. Like, let me go find my cheat sheet.
Hold on.
Cause hold on one moment. I'm gonna throw
Hold
my
on.
little finger up, duck my head. Let me go get my cheat sheet. Cause
Hold on.
if I don't, I'm gonna say what I know to say, and
Who
Yeah.
are
that
you
ain't good.
Yeah.
talking to?
Use your cheat sheet. Use your cheat sheet.
Yes, use your
Oh
cheat sheet.
Use
I
your
need a
cheat
t-shirt that says
sheet.
that. Use your cheat sheet.
Yeah. It's
That's
worth it. It's
yes.
worth it. It's so worth it. Charlene said I used to get quiet, but things build up and things might not come out right. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
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 My wife is notorious for identifying issues and speaking on them in the moment so that you don't build up. She is all
I
about
love it.
getting it out right then, right there.
Mhm.
Now, me on the other hand, because I know that I know that it's going to be a
Yeah.
escalation, maybe a little passion. I want to pause. Can I get a pause for a moment so that I can make sure that I'm not emotional about whatever it is we're about to discuss? And see
Uh-huh.
if I can go in with no emotions, then I can have a wonderfully logical conversation. And that's what
Yeah.
I want to have. I want to have a logical conversation so that
Mhm.
it doesn't require emotion. But
For
Mhm.
when
me,
you
it's
hit
an
me with that
improvement.
blind side though, like, hey, so let's talk about this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's like I gotta get my boxing
Here
gloves
we go.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Here
yeah.
we go.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what?
yeah.
So what? So what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
Quick
I'm
this is
trying to
question.
remember to keep it logical. It's like no matter what, like, hey, this is not personal. This is not personal. It
mhm.
it is personal, but it's not
But it's
personal.
not. Yep.
It's not personal.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Corey. What you got?
Just a quick question. Does your wife offer tutoring like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe? Not on Sunday for the
All right.
relationship.
I'll
Say
send it
it
your way.
less.
I'll send
I'm not
I'll
afraid to
send it
ask
your
for
way.
help. I'm not afraid to ask for help. I'm
That's right.
available Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Look,
Tuesdays and
the
Thursdays.
first
I
line
love it
is
though.
admitting. The first line is
Is
admitting.
I
admitting.
need help.
That's
Is
right.
Hey,
admitting and
hey,
knowing. But I'm gonna
amen.
tell y'all, I'm going through the steps. Like when I saw this, I was like, oh, I love this. I love
Yes.
this because
Mhm.
I was and still am. Meaning I'm a work in progress. But my mindset now is more on the more side of the more softer side, the more
Mm,
because well, honestly, it's always been there. I just never felt I had the opportunity to be that. To
mm,
be that. So anybody I talk to or engage with or allow to be in my space, he has to come. He has to come with the soothing and the softening. It has to
mm,
be
Mhm.
because that's what I desire. That's what I want. But sometimes when you're in a position that you have to be the figure it out, do it, take charge, make it happen. So if I'm talking to a brother and any of that doesn't appear or if it's not, I'm gone. I can't. I cannot. I cannot. Cause
Mhm.
it's hard, to be honest. When I lose respect for a dude, it's hard to get that back.
Hmm.
right.
It's
Say
hard.
that.
It is hard to get that back. When I lose respect for you, when you've done something that's ridiculous and just out of pocket and unnecessary, and you're not trying to work to, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that was a moment. Let me move on.
So hearing you say that to me means that that is now a non-negotiable for you when it comes to relationships going forward. When do you think you identified that as a non-negotiable?
When did I identify it?
Yeah. Was it always there, or did at some point you realized this is the type of person that I need in my corner?
It was always there.
Okay.
It was always there. But you know how they say usually the people that we fall for and go for are like our dads or our mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
No.
kept finding my dad over and over and over, and that was
Mm-hmm.
familiar and comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to realize, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 no. Because I'll never be in a position to be in that soft place, that soft. When I got to do it, when I got you asking me for this and you asking me for that, and what? No, I'm not giving you no money. I'm not
Hmm.
paying. No, like
I'm not your mom.
ah,
Right.
ah,
Position you want to hold.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We gonna roll on y'all. Yes. I want to feel safe in this conversation. Can we try again?
Mm.
What you get? What?
I,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What you got, Corey?
I don't understand. I'm not sure what would have to be said for me to say this. At
Yes.
what point would I not feel safe?
I was
Oh,
going to ask
yeah, the
for an
word safe.
example.
So I think in my mind, when you were talking about safety,
Mhm.
you want to be in a conversation where you don't feel like that person is going to escalate it to the point where they're using words to hurt you. Like
Yes.
they
Right.
are
I have to
allowing you
defend
to
myself.
express whatever your issues are without a fear of any type of reprisal or retaliation. Does that
That's
make
Mm.
what I
sense?
got, Josh. That's
Mm.
exactly. That
That's
was perfect.
that's
Well
the way
said.
it seems to me. So a lot of times we get into discussions, arguments, or whatever, and people start taking it. They get dirty with it, right? They start,
Mhm.
they bring up stuff from the past, and in a safe conversation would be one where you don't have to worry about none of that. I'm not going to bring up anything from the past. I'm not going to say, well, you do this, you do that, da da da. I'm not. I'm going to let you express your problem with me in this conversation without you having any fear of reprisal or retaliation from me. You're going to say everything that you have a problem with, and I'm not going to try to defend myself. I'm going to accept it. And that's a
Yeah.
safe space.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are willing to do that because everybody, I know I do it sometimes too, even a lot of times when, well, you do this, but imagine being in
Yes.
a conversation where you can come to, hey, I want to feel safe. Can we try again? I just want to express some issues that I have. And I say, I promise that I won't get angry. I won't respond with any type of deference or any type of retaliation to say what you're doing. I just want to hear your problems with me. And
Yep.
I'm gonna repeat them back to you and ask you, how can I correct this? That
Yep.
is a safe conversation for you. And if you're doing that a lot, then imagine how you don't you I can bring anything to him and not feel any issues whatsoever because he's just gonna try to correct himself without
Mhm.
attacking me back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he's not taking this as an attack. It's some things that I wanted to express to make us better as a couple. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
It
Am I
makes
saying that
perfect sense.
wrong?
Ladies, y'all, yeah. I want to be able to express to you how I'm feeling about possibly something you're doing that's not right, I don't like, and I want to be able to feel like I can express it without you coming back at me and
Right,
throwing all this stuff at me and oh, but you did, oh, but you said, oh,
right.
but that's what I get from that.
That's
That
that's what I
state.
got. I got the
Yeah.
same thing. That's what I got.
Yeah. Yeah. What you think, ladies? Anybody what are y'all thinking something different or you wasn't quite sure?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about how that is because for me, the first thing
Uh-huh.
I read with that, what the first word I saw was safe.
Safe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't feel safe with you, best
That's it.
believe my spidey sense is gonna pick up on that, and we're not gonna be together. We're not
Mm-hmm.
even
Yeah.
gonna get to this conversation.
Got you.
So if you coming at me where I gotta say, can we try again? That indicates
That is
repetitive behavior.
exactly.
So repetitive behavior, I'm not dealing with
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And then you got to understand people's triggers. So if you have someone who is triggered by somebody speaking to them in an unsafe manner, whatever that
Mhm.
may be, whether it's belittling, degrading,
Mhm.
whatever that
Mhm.
is, I'm not sticking around for that. So it ain't gonna
Gotcha.
be no can we try again. It ain't
Mm-mm.
gonna be no words at all.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, it's interesting to see the different thought processes and
Right.
perspectives about it. But I understand both sides of that. Both sides of that.
Completely
Josh.
understand what Josh is saying. I could see
Yeah.
that. I could
Yeah.
see how that could be when you're in a relationship where you've been together for so long and both of you have done some things and you throwing, you hitting low, you low punching
Right.
and stuff like
Right.
that. And you don't want to be low punch. I just want to have a conversation with you. I get where you're coming from with
Right.
that. But
Yeah.
and thank you for that perspective. My first thought
Mhm.
and the first thing that jumped out at me was safe.
Right.
Safe.
And and
That was
and
my
and I think that word, because when we think of safety, we think a lot of abusive relationships.
Yeah.
And I think
Opposite of harm.
that
Yeah.
is the reason why it's the first thing that popped out. Because the only time that we look at safety is when we think of danger in the physical sense, but we're talking about a safety in words and a
Yeah.
safety in expression. And a
Yeah.
lot of times we don't really deal with how sometimes our responses and our defenses and a lot of things that we don't say are behind us not feeling safe in a place of safety to say those things
Mhm.
because we have already placed in our minds, well, if I say this, he's going to respond this way. Or if I say this to her, she's going to respond this way. You know,
Hmm.
I don't want to tell her that I don't like her dress, because if I say something about that dress, then she's going to respond this way, and I don't want her to
Right.
respond this way. So
Right.
I
Right.
think that, but because of the crappy society in which we live in, when you see that word safe, you like, oh heck no,
Yeah.
we talking about this dude gonna lay
Hmm.
hands on me because I said something to him. That's the first thing that pops up. But
Or
this is just,
verbally.
Yeah.
yes, or
Yeah.
verbally, he's going to say, he's going to use profanity and all types of other stuff to try to degrade or diminish my character or my personality. So I think that that is that safe word is hard to kind of get past, and I get it. I totally get it
Yeah.
now that you mentioned it that way. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So Finley says, so what do you say when a person says, give me an example? I still say you keep the same tone and you give them an example.
Mm-hmm.
Not in as a way of finger pointing or now it's, oh, now I'm free to tell you about you.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an example. Hey, so if we're really here to build and be
Hmm.
real with
Mm-hmm.
each other, real life
Mm-hmm.
relationship growth,
Mm-hmm.
we should be able to give an example without the other person popping off
Right.
Hmm.
and being like, "Oh, okay, well, you perfect then."
Because that's how it goes sometimes. Well, you perfect, you know, and then now we're back at escalation. I can't be safe. I'm not safe in this
Right.
conversation.
Hmm.
So
Mhm. 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 Let me real quick. How about when a person gets upset and shuts down? I think sometimes it's okay. Can I express myself and be vulnerable and say how I feel? So, shutting down, yes, I get it. We talked about that earlier. I think that goes along with processing. If you're
mm-hmm.
shutting down because you want to process and you need to kind of make sure you're coming right, or you're trying to figure out what that person is saying and have an understanding, or you just at a level of festivity, you want to process. You want to you like that word, Corey, huh? You want to step back a little bit.
Right.
But time, time, time. Time. I want to Tony, we're going to come back to this. Let me play this real quick because I want to before Rose has to go because we want Rose to get some sleep. I want to
Yes.
play this. Yeah, because we love you and we in this thing together.
I appreciate
Um, I want to play this video real quick because I don't want her to miss this one. It's almost about 3 minutes, y'all. So sit back, fellas. Don't complain. Last time I played the video, it was great, but it was a little long. And I came back to the camera, and them Negroes was like, "Damn, it's finally over."
it.
But it
Everybody
was
took a
good
nap.
Oh my God.
information. Everybody sit back a little bit, get your little popcorn, and let's listen to this video.
Hey man, let's talk about something most guys never understand. Something so subtle yet so powerful that when you master it, women feel it in their bones. I'm talking about the masculine calm. Not the fake kind you try to put on when you're nervous. Not the scripted version that looks good on paper, but the real, grounded, deeply embodied calm that makes her heart race and her mind wonder, what is it about him? You see, women are emotional creatures. Not in a weak way, but in a wild, stormy, unpredictable way. And when they sense a man who isn't moved by every little emotional wave, who stands firm like a rock in the middle of their chaos, they don't just notice it, they feel it. It shakes them in a way that no perfect text or well-timed compliment ever could. Masculine calm is the energy of a man who doesn't need to prove anything. He's not reactive. He's not needy. He's not constantly chasing validation or obsessing over every text reply. He's comfortable in silence, comfortable in himself. And when a woman feels that, when she realizes she can't knock him off balance, that's when the intrigue begins. That's when the attraction turns primal. This calm doesn't mean you're cold or emotionless. No, it means you own your emotions instead of being owned by them. When she's upset, you don't panic. When she pulls away, you don't chase. When she tests your confidence, you pass without even realizing it. That's power. And that's the kind of power that turns you into the man she can't forget. You become the eye of the storm, peaceful, grounded, unshaken. She might try to stir you, provoke you, even create drama just to see if she can get a rise out of you. But when you stay grounded, when you smile calmly and let her waves crash without moving, she feels both challenged and safe. And that combo, That's the key to deep attraction. So many guys ruin attraction by over-explaining, over-apologizing, or trying to fix every emotional flicker she throws their way. But a man with masculine calm, he knows he's not here to fix her emotions. He's here to witness them, to allow them, to lead with presence. And the wildest part? She wants to feel your stability more than she wants your solutions. The masculine calm is felt in your tone, your eye contact, your breathing, your posture. It's the way you pause before you speak, the way you don't rush to fill silence, the way you stay rooted when things get intense. It's not a performance, it's who you are when you finally stop reacting and start being. And here's the twist, most men miss the calmer you are, the more intense she becomes, not because she's crazy, but because that calm pulls her feminine energy to the surface. It invites her to feel, to open, to surrender. Not in a forced way, but in a deeply natural one. You stop chasing, and suddenly she's leaning in, curious, drawn, addicted to your peace. She starts wondering why she can't get you out of her head, why she's thinking about you in the quiet moments, why your absence feels louder than any other guy's presence. It's because calm is rare, presence is rare, and you just became the exception in a sea of emotional chaos. So if you want to stand out, if you want to be the man she can't ignore, don't be louder, flashier, or more aggressive. Be still, be present, be grounded. Because when you master the masculine calm, you stop trying to impress her and start impressing upon her something unforgettable. And that's when the game changes. That's when you become the storm. Not because you're chaotic, but because your stillness is the most powerful force in the room. Let her feel it. Let her come to you. And never forget, calm isn't weakness. It's the loudest kind of strength.
Thoughts?
I think that's what Corey was talking about, right? That's her man right there.
That's her man.
Definitely.
That's her man. That's her man. That's her man.
Yeah.
So the focus wasn't the woman.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
because sis seemed like she had some stuff going on. But I don't,
Yeah,
I don't.
I ignored the woman because I realized that would never be a woman I would date.
Mm-mm.
Period.
Yes.
Really sound. What you say, Corey? She sound a mess.
A mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds a
So
mess.
let's ignore the woman. Let's ignore the woman. Let's try our
Ignore
best.
the woman.
Because I did when I heard the video, I was like, "Dang, sis."
Right.
Mhm.
You missed the whole point.
Like, dang, sis. But the things he was saying about the man, the he stands firm. He's not reactive. He's not without emotion, but he doesn't let his
Mhm.
emotions rule him. Those are
Mhm.
the things that stood out to me on this video.
Mhm.
Um, and like he said, like Josh said, Corey, that sound like your dude.
Mhm. Mhm.
That sound, yeah. That sounds like a man that I think we could all kind of look up.
Oh no, because he's chasing after the crazy one. I'm back. I'm back. He's chasing after the wrong one. It's always the ones we want that we need that want the crazy ones.
Yeah,
It's so
true.
hard to find a good
We
one.
chasing
No,
them.
it's
They
not. You
chasing
chasing
the
the
crazy
crazy
ones.
ones. I'm
He-
back.
That's why he got to be
Right.
but
calm.
guess what? But you know what that says on the other side of it? The crazy one he can calm. That's what it says on the other side of it. Because
This
if a
Maybe
woman,
he crazy
if
too.
wait though, if a woman is truly trying to position herself to receive a man that way, she's going to have to allow his calmness. She's gonna have to allow his calmness to make her think twice
but
about how she's
she's
reacting.
attracted to his calmness though. That it goes back to the
It
opposite
is.
Yeah.
attracting thing that we were talking about earlier. Like she is
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
attracted to his peace. He is her peace in that
Yes.
situation. You know, a lot of brothers talking about be my peace. Like that's what he is to her. Please be my peace. Like
Yeah.
she is like waves and he's like a beach. So
Yeah.
she's splashing on him constantly.
Yeah.
And he's just nice and smooth, and just okay. I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah. And
So
eventually,
he's her piece.
yeah, yeah. Now, ladies, come on, we gotta say it honestly. Honestly, that
Mm.
not say I'm not gonna say she was crazy. I'm gonna say
Yes.
I'm not even gonna say she was a mess. You know why? You know why? Because I saw 1, 2, 3 in
Mm-hmm.
her. In that.
Yeah. Oh
In
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
that.
So
I see where we
Mm.
all maybe have a piece of that. Maybe not
yeah,
all
yeah,
of them,
yeah.
but we
There
have a
you go.
piece of
What
that,
Mark say?
Right.
right?
Some and all, some and
Some and
all,
all. Some and
some but
all.
not all.
Some and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, because I can say
Yeah.
I've never purposely okay, wait.
You can only go back so far. Don't go back
Yeah.
too far.
Yeah, I done tried to
Those
egg a
years
brother
don't
on
count.
time or
Has,
two. I
have
can't.
any of you busted windows out of cars? That's all. That's all
No,
I'm saying.
Oh
no.
no.
I've
No,
never gone that
no,
far.
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
no.
No.
No. Now that's the crazy. I don't think he was talking about her.
Mm-mm.
Because
Mm.
truth be told, if he's that type of man, he's not even checking for a woman like that.
Mm-hmm.
You hope he's not checking for a woman like that, and a lot of women may
That's
start.
why I said maybe
No,
he crazy
I
too.
agree.
No.
I agree. But see, there's some dysfunction in a lot of, and we going back, and I'm gonna go back to you, Donna, because you were talking about how you used to follow after your father, and there may be, and I don't know your dad, and I'm not trying to say he's dysfunctional, but
Oh, he
there's
was.
sometimes there is some dysfunction in the reason why we are attracted to who we're attracted to, because we have seen certain things in our lives that influence what we believe love is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we are influenced by how we were brought up in our environment. And so a lot of that plays a role in how we look at relationships and how relationships should be. And as we get older, hopefully we grow out of that. A lot of times you're attracted to what you're attracted to because it's what you're used to. You're used to seeing
Was
what you
comfortable.
expected. And so then, but as you get older, you realize, well, that's not really the love I want.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when these people are attracted to the crazy when they're younger, and let's say they say married to that crazy changes over time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you might have started out being the one that was busting windows out of cars, and by the time
Right.
you get to about year 10, she's as calm as a butterfly. You know what I'm saying? Like she just
Yeah.
switched
Yeah.
over where that's still in her, and it's in her, but it's not the same because the rub from your calmness
There you go.
shifted her crazy to being more calm.
There you
So,
go.
so yeah, it can start out really bad, but go over time to something that is
Yep.
amicable and cool. It just
Mm-hmm.
And see,
the
for
person.
me, I had to glean because having love from a man, from my father, was
Hmm.
different, right?
Hmm.
So I'm looking for love
Hmm.
differently because I didn't receive it the way I felt I should have. My father was very
Hmm.
strict, very
Hmm.
harsh, and so every relationship, I gleaned what I wanted and what I didn't
Hmm.
want. And that was my stepping stone to the next relationship. Well, he didn't do this and he's doing this thing that I want. So I'm going to get with him. But then I didn't realize all these other
Hmm.
flaws. So then
Yep.
I took that, and that was my next stepping stone to the point where I said, you have to find out what you
Yep.
Hmm.
want. What is it that makes you respond in a way that shows who you
Yep.
Hmm.
are or who you're trying
Yep.
to
Hmm.
be, you know? And so, needless to say, I was the rowdy, ready to get down, boogie down Bronx girl.
Hmm.
I was that
Yeah.
girl. And here I am now with a man who is completely the
Yep.
opposite of me.
Hmm.
And when I'm doing this, he like, babe, come over here.
Hmm.
So then I can't do this sitting next to him. I gotta be like this,
But it
no.
doesn't change who you are.
Still
There
being
you
Hmm.
me.
go.
Right.
Right.
That's
There
right.
you
Right.
He
go.
doesn't take away from me. He's
Yes.
adding another
Yes.
level to
That's
who I
right.
Mm-hmm.
am.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And the realization of that, I think, is
Yeah.
empowering
They,
to say,
Yes.
hey, I can be
yep.
this.
And
Yeah.
that was the
That's
point.
empowering.
That was the whole point.
Hmm.
And actually, you all, I debated whether I was going to use that video but I'm glad I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I did. And Tony said, "What are
Rose's
Rose's
love
love
Somebody want
languages?"
to know your love languages.
That's Tony. I'm glad I did because it pulled those points and it made sense to
Mm-hmm.
when you have that opposite. I love how things just flow. Here we go with the opposites again.
Uh-huh.
You better do it,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. You better.
Every time.
Here we go with these opposites again. And how they're
Mm-hmm.
making sense and they can work and they work when your focus
Mm-hmm.
is I need to see and Rose, what's your man's name again? When
Mark.
Mark is saying to himself, I need to see how I can calm this lady. I need
Mm.
to show my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at her. Rose, come here.
Come here, girl.
Yes, sir,
That's,
Mark.
that's awesome.
I love it. I
Okay.
love it. I love it. These opposites. It's
Yeah.
not always because again, I looked for my dad. I was attracted to my dad
Mhm.
because there were so many things about him that I did respect, and I felt like you
Mm-hmm.
need to be like my dad. The brother was sharp. The brother was smart. He had 3 degrees. He was a professor, but he couldn't stay at home. He couldn't
Mm.
do his family right. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, I need this, but I don't need that. But I'm attracting this, and it makes me act this way because I ain't gonna
Mm-hmm.
deal with I love my mama to death, and she ain't deal with it either. But I'm not
Right.
doing that. You know what I mean? So, but those opposites they make sense. Corey, you ain't writing those. They make sense. They make sense. Let me show. Let's see. One more. Even when I'm upset, I still choose softness. A beautiful affirmation that reminds you who you are. There it is. I'm not going to put no more up. That's the last one I'm putting up. Because that's what it comes down to. What you got?
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna say this before I put my church finger up. Um, even when I would change that to say, even when I'm upset, I still choose you.
Okay.
Mm.
Mhm.
I would end it with
Okay.
Mhm.
that because softness still refers to me,
Uh-huh.
not him.
Yeah. But it's
Mhm.
you being soft for him.
Right.
Mm.
But I think I get her point. I get what she's saying.
For
Yeah.
me,
What she's
for
Yeah.
saying,
me,
Woo,
for
these
me,
she's
perspectives.
talking
I
I
about
love
she's
choose
them.
talking to
you
this
because
guy,
I'm
right? You
mad.
talking
Yep.
to the man, right?
You right, Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
mad.
You saying
I'm mad at
I ain't
you.
saying I'm choosing softness. I choose you because she want to express that
Got you.
regardless of what's going on, I'm upset, but you still my dude. That I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
I'm mad at
Yeah.
you. I can't even speak English right now. I'm speaking
Right.
Spanish,
Mhm.
but I'm choosing you.
Yes.
I'm choosing you.
Yes.
Right. That's
Yes.
You're
awesome.
my
Ooh,
dude.
these
That's awesome.
perspectives, boy. I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it. Rose, we love you. Get some sleep.
Love
I'm
y'all.
See you
glad you
later.
made
I'll
it.
see you
Later,
next
you.
time.
Glad you
Y'all hit me
glad
up.
you made it in tonight. Get some rest.
I will. Take
All
care, y'all.
right.
Peace out.
Bye.
Corey, you got a thought on that one?
No, Rose said it. She and
Rose
I are
said
one
it.
mind tonight. Yeah.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Did you lose Corey?
I
No,
did.
I was backstage.
Sorry. That was my fault.
That's cool. No, I'm one
Mhm.
band, one sound with Rose. I was with her. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. Because I'm like,
Mhm.
what's all this got to do with this? But yeah, okay.
Right.
She said it very well.
For you. For you. Yeah. Yeah. This was good. I like this one. I like
Mm-hmm.
how it flowed. I like how one thing just
Right
meshed
to
into the
another.
other thing. And Josh, you the real MVP tonight. Josh, you the GOAT.
Mm-hmm. Look, he's
Hey,
saying, put the cape on.
I'm
I can
trying to
see
hold
it.
it
He's
down for the
clapping the man.
fellas. They had my back in the comments. I see them. They've been really chiming in the comments. Now y'all got to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's see.
Penley talking
There
about the
was
simps out here. I missed that comment. I just saw it. Like
Tony.
you said.
Yeah.
He
For
said that.
Philly.
Yeah, that was a good one. my comment. And when guys are like that, I'm sorry, when guys are like that, they are considered simp. He's
This
just
is true.
taking it, talking about just taking the behavior.
Yeah,
It's
We've
true.
all
yeah,
It is true. It is true.
seen the
yeah.
pushovers.
Well, let's speak on that real quick. Let's speak on that real quick. They call us simps, pushover. We not a pushover. I don't see him as being a pushover. I get what he's saying. He's called a simp. If he, if because Josh, you were saying about the ocean, the waves, and the beach, and how the waves are coming or whatever, and you just taking it. You just taking it. And I see what Finley is saying. Some people be like, "Oh, you a simp. Why you letting her talk to you? Or why you letting her do this? Or why you doing that?" But at the same time, he is calming. He is bringing her to that point where all those crashing waves are going to end up as we how
Yeah.
how you look out at the sun setting on the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she gonna look like
Hmm.
when you got that brother that's calming. That's what she's going to look like.
So what you have to, and I'm not no expert on marriage. I've only been married 10 years. What I'm finding is, and this is what somebody told me, is that number one, your relationship, your marriage, it's yours. It's yours. You
Mm-hmm.
absolutely cannot be worried about what other people think of your relationship,
That's
how
right.
they perceive your relationship to be. You
That's right.
cannot, you just can't worry about that. Number two,
Mm,
if that works for your marriage, works for your situation, then it does. If you find value in her, then you are going to do the things that you need to do in order to make that relationship work. But it's only if you find value in her. A lot
mhm.
of times, that value, your value for her changes over time, right? I think that my wife is more valuable today, and I loved her when we got married, but I think that my wife is more valuable today to me than she was when we first got married. And because when we first got married, she wasn't the mother of my children. We hadn't
Mm,
built a 10-year life together.
yeah.
We had only been dating for like a year. So the value has grown over time as opposed to diminished. And a lot of relationships the value over time doesn't grow, it diminishes. So when you look at the situation from his perspective, this is a valuable person, and I am, because I value them, willing to do the work to make this relationship the best relationship it can be, which in the beginning is probably her crashing into me like waves into the beach.
Mm,
But I know that I'm going to put forth the effort because I value her. Now remember, I value her.
yeah.
Because I value her, I am willing to put forth the effort because I know the effort that I'm gonna put forth, and that means that he is truly a man's man. I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
It's gonna change who she is right now. I
Yeah.
know she doesn't have the vision that I have for the future that we are going to have together.
Come
And
on,
because
sir.
I know who I am, and because I know what I bring to the table, we always talk about the table. Because I know what I bring to the table, the
Yeah.
woman that she is today, starting this thing, is, I promise you, is not the woman that she's going to be
She go
when
end
we
up
get
there.
deep into this thing.
That's
I'm
She's
right.
hearing
going
that.
to look back at the woman that she was and realize that I put forth sweat, blood, and tears and helped her become this woman that she wanted to be, and she didn't even know
Wanted
she
to be
wanted
in
to
the
be.
first place. That's
Mm.
right.
She didn't even know she wanted to be that woman. She didn't even know it.
Ooh, that's right.
And
I
that's
love it.
Rose. She just said that. This man has shown me
Yep.
the woman that I wanted to be and helped me to become that woman because he found value in her and helped her become that woman just by calming her, by being that calming presence, by being her peace.
Yeah. Yes. We out.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
That's it. Turn
I
button.
love it. I love it. I love it. So I always like to end and let I think Josh just I don't know if Josh would even have anything else to say after that.
I don't have nothing else.
You dropped the mic.
I,
Yes. I love it. I love it. Miss Corey B. You got anything you want to say, babe?
I can't follow that up.
Right.
Hey, listen. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Again, if you and your wife are available Tuesdays and Thursdays to tutor me, that'd be wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
We still learning on this marriage journey. That's all I can tell you. We still
Mhm.
learning. I promise you,
Uh-huh.
she'll let you know that we are 100% still learning. We are young bucks in this thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Young bucks, old bucks, but young bucks in this thing.
I get you.
I
I get you.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. The value of a woman has nothing to do with a man's perception. Hmm.
I agree. I mean, the value of a woman is immensely valuable. A man's perception will determine how he treats the woman.
Yeah.
It doesn't change her value.
Doesn't change her value. That's right.
It just changes how he approaches her based on his perception of her value.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Okay.
of course, the woman, if she knows her value,
Mm-hmm.
if she understands her value,
Mm-hmm.
then her response to anything less than excellence will keep him moving.
Yep.
He won't be able to even approach, like, for real.
There it is. There it is. Two fun facts to
Mhm.
end this thing.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I enjoyed tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
good
Very much
conversation,
so.
guys.
I
Hey, I
thank
missed
you.
y'all last week. I'm sorry. I was, having some major technical difficulties over
Oh,
here.
it's fine. It's fine. Tony was there. Yeah, Tony said, "Now we talking." That's right. That's right. Tony was holding it down last week,
Okay.
Josh. Tony was
Okay.
Yeah, Tony
That's
hung out
awesome.
with me last week and it was a good discussion. It was a good one too. So
That's
we did
good.
miss you, but it worked out fine. It worked out fine. And it was perfect for you to be here right now. It was perfect for you
Glad
to
I
be
could
here
join
tonight.
in, guys.
All right. All right. Y'all do me a favor, stay put. Give me a second. All right, YouTube, Facebook, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your comments and engaging. Please know you can send topics and we can take the time to discuss them. Even if you want to join me, let me know and we can have you on and we can discuss those topics. So we're going to say good night and we appreciate you. Kevin, good night, Kevin. Yeah,
Did
Corey,
he
Kevin
even
just
show up
popped in.
tonight?
Kevin just popped in, Corey.
Hmm.
He just popped in. All right.
Hmm.
Good night, you all. We appreciate you. Have a
Good
good
night,
one. See
everybody.
you all next Thursday. Next Thursday, our topic is my girlfriends. All the ladies are going to be
Boy,
on.
all right.
Ooh,
Yes, yes. All right. Good night.
Good
good
night.
night.